Hey everyone, how are you guys doing today? Hope that everyone is doing well. And I'm looking over to my right because in today's video I have something very old and very dusty to help me explain today's video. I'll show you what it is. It's almost too big to fit on the camera all at once. You might be thinking, what is that? And this is something that hairstylists use to help determine the client's existing hair color, as well as a tool to achieve the desired hair color result. Now, this topic that I am doing today's video on is a very broad topic, meaning there's so many facets and things I could talk about regarding it. I may have to break this video up into 2 parts or more, or I may try to just do what I can in one video. A few things that I want to note. I'm going to set this down for just a minute or so. A few things that I would like to note to you guys is this video is about hair color. I used to work as a hairstylist. I do have my cosmetology license. I don't know if I was going to say cosmetologist or cosmetology, but anyway. I do have my license, so I am a professional. However, this video is intended only for relaxation purposes. I'm not necessarily wanting this video to be as much of an educational video as I am wanting it to be a relaxation video. And one of the main reasons I say that is because there are so many aspects of hair color, and there's one rule, but then there might be an exception to that rule or a few exceptions, and it's too complex to get into the whole entirety of it in one video. It's something that I can teach the basic concept, maybe a few extras, but it really, to know hair color and know it really well, it just takes a lot of time and experience. So some of you may be educated about hair color. Some of you may not know a lot about hair color. This is going to be just general basic guidelines, if you will. There may be exceptions to certain rules or whatnot, but anyway. So I wanted to notate that, and the other thing I want to make a note of, and then I will go ahead and get started, is that this is Aveda, the Aveda hair color. The salon that I worked at used Aveda hair color, and Aveda hair color is a little bit different than most hair color lines because you mix the tone with the level instead of it already being pre-mixed, and I'll explain more about that. But I'm just going to use these color swatches that I have, because basically it's hair color swatches, as just a general guideline to teach you about hair color. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, there are two basic components to hair color. There is the level, meaning how dark or light the hair is. Is it a light blonde like this? Is it more of a medium brown like this? Or is it a dark brown or black like one of these? That's the level. And these are stained with hair color because it was used in an actual salon, so there's like a lot of stains and missing stuff, sort of. But anyway, there's level. And then there's also tone. Tone is the amount of warmth or coolness within a hair color. For example, something can have a very cool, icy tone like this. This is a lot of ash or blue, like a blue-gray pigment. And this is a level 10 light blonde, or lightest blonde, or whatever. And this tone right here looks very different. This is a orange or a red or like a copper. This is also a level 10. So I'll show you those two swatches once more. But let me just show you what a neutral or natural level 10 looks like. So this is a level 10 that's neither warm nor cool. To me it looks like it has a bit of a cool tone, but that's besides the point. This is just, for simplicity purposes, just think of it as it's the lightest hair color, but there's not an excess of warmth or coolness. It's just neutral, but it's the lightest blonde, level 10. There are hair colors lighter than this when you get into like more of the platinum series or whatnot, like level 12, but that's a different time. Okay, so light blonde. Light blonde with a warm copper tone. Light blonde with an ash blue tone. Let me show you like this. I forgot that you can take these off. So, all three of these swatches are the same level. This one is very warm, this one is neutral, and this one is very ashy. Let me show you what that looks like when it comes to a slightly, or more than slightly, darker hair color. Now this is a level 5 brown. This one is considered the lightest brown. Different hair color charts, like traditionally more European hair color companies, have a few more darker shades, and more American companies have a few more lighter shades, which I might get into that a little bit more, but for all intents and purposes, just a level 5 is about middle of the ground. Level 1 is jet black, level 10 is lightest blonde, so level 5 is brown. It meets in the middle, so this is a neutral brown with no excess warmth or coolness. It's just neutral, natural. And this is a level 5 with red. Okay, is this pure base? Yeah. This is a level 5 with like a red copper tone in it. And this is a level 5, let me hold them together, with ash. Sometimes it makes sense when I hold them all together. So as you can see, warm, neutral, neither warm nor cool, and then cool. It's a little bit easier to tell the difference in the warm one and these darker levels, but if you'll notice, this hair color right here, this with the blue, is more of an ash-based brown. And I don't know if I had yeah, that's the ashiest one. This has like a blue-green tone, neutral, and then red. So typically the more ash something has, the darker it looks, and the more warmth something has, the lighter it looks. Technically they are the same level of lightness versus darkness, but this one sort of looks darker and this one looks lighter. Now, let me show you the same color in a golden tone. Now these swatches again are very old, but let me put these in order for you. From ashiest to the most warm. Okay. These are all level 5 brown. You can see cool tone, neutral tone. See how this one is a little bit warmer, but not quite as warm as the orange. The one with the yellow has a golden tone to it. Most of us are probably, well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but a lot of people have more these tones here, like slightly warmer or more neutral. Okay. Let me put these back in order because it will bother me if I don't keep these in the right order. And I'm going to explain to you guys. Some of these numbers are rubbed off. I'm going to explain to you guys why, when a lot of people color their hair turns red. That has to do with the undertone. I'm missing a color swatch. Oh. Okay. Now, going back to the level system, level 1 is jet black. That's jet black hair. I feel like it looks a little light on camera, but that's probably just the lighting. This is jet black. Light blonde, and then as you can see in the middle, there are varying degrees of lightness to darkness. Okay? Now, again, there's two parts to hair color: the level and the tone. But let me make this a little bit, add something to it. There's also the undertone in the hair. There's the outer tone, for lack of better words, and undertone. Sometimes we see the undertone come through in the outer tone or the visible tone. Sometimes it's concealed. Now, this might be a bit hard to see. All right, now let me take this off for a second. There's so much that I can say about hair color. Honestly, I might have to just do multiple videos. All right, so I want you to ignore, see these going across, ignore those for a second, okay? And pay attention to the ones going vertically on the side, okay? We'll get more into those in a minute. Excuse me. All right, these have the levels going from dark to light. See how level 10, lightest blonde, level 5, lightest brown, and I'll get into why there's a red cast there. And then level 1, black. Now, the darker the hair color is, the more red exists in the undertone. So, for example, if someone were to bleach their hair and not tone it, but only lighten it, depending on how dark their hair pre-existing color was, before it gets lighter, or as it gets lighter, I should say, that undertone is brought to the surface. That's why you see a lot of blonde hair color sometimes has a yellow undertone, because the undertone of lightest blonde is pale yellow, and if the hair's not quite light enough, sometimes the yellow is a little bit too strong. And there are ways to neutralize that out, which is the whole art and science of hair color in of itself. Now, on a side note, personally, I believe that the undertone of the very dark hair colors from level 3 to 1 is like a blue, then blue-violet, then violet, and then red. Some people say it's just red, but that's a whole nother topic for another day. I'm just gonna go with that they're all red for simplicity of the video. So, you can see level 1, black, has a lot of red undertone. Same with level 2, 3, and 4, but as we get lighter and lighter, the undertone turns. You can see that it's at a level 5, the undertone is red, and then at a level 6, which is a dark blonde, a lot of people would look at that as a light brown. The undertone is a red-orange. Level 7, the undertone is just orange, which that actually looks not as orange as the undertone usually pulls out in hair color. Level 8, the undertone is a yellow-orange. It's getting lighter as the hair color gets lighter. Level 9, the undertone is yellow. Level 10, the undertone is pale yellow, so it's very light. See how this is a little bit darker yellow, lighter yellow. So sometimes what happens is if someone has even blonde hair, because a lot of blonde has like an orange or a yellow undertone, when someone lightens their hair or colors their hair, that undertone is brought to the surface. What a lot of people do when they color their hair with box hair color is they will look at the box and they'll look at the hair color swatch or look at the model's hair in the box, which is of course a reasonable thing to do, and they'll think, okay, I like that hair color best. That's the hair color I want. So they go home, they put the hair color on their hair, and it does not turn out like it looks on the box. And a lot of people complain. They say, my hair looks nothing like it looks on the box. My hair looks orange. Their hair looks neutral. Why is my hair so red? The reason is because you may not have counteracted the undertone properly. For example, if you were to color your hair a level 5, let's say this was about your natural hair color, give or take, okay? Maybe you were a shade lighter, a shade darker, and you wanted your hair a level 5. If you just dyed your hair a neutral level 5 with no counteracting cool tones and no added warm tones, your hair color would turn out a little bit warm because at a level 5, the undertone is red. You can apply that with basically any other level. One situation where people run into this quite often is when they're going lighter or blonde with their hair. Someone might want to go from a level 6 or even a level 7 to a light blonde. Okay? And as you can see, you might be able to lighten your hair, but if you do not add any counteracting cool tones, you're going to get a warm, golden, sometimes brassy undertone. Now, if someone colors their hair with a golden hair color because it looks pretty on the swatch, that gold hair color is only going to add to the existing underlying warm tone, which may be a desired result, but oftentimes when people are going lighter with their hair, they want a more neutral or ashy or slightly silver whitish blonde result. Hence, the brassy yellow undertones are not always desired, because even when you add counteracting cool tones to your hair color, sometimes they are still not strong enough to totally annihilate the existing warm undertone in your hair color. So, let's recap real quick. There's two parts to hair color. The second part's kind of complicated. There's tone, the amount of lightness or darkness of the hair. Is it black? Is it brown? Is it light brown? Is it blonde? Is it dark blonde? Is it light blonde? And tone, is it cool? Is it ashy? Is it neutral? Is it natural? Is it warm? Is it golden? Is it red? Is it copper? Is it violet? And undertone. What hair color is intended to do, the tones added into artificial hair color are to counteract the natural undertones of the hair. Now, if someone had white hair, okay, or very light hair that has been bleached very light, and they're wanting to go to a darker color, sometimes if they put a straight darker color on their hair, the hair color can look muddy or green or too ashy, and that's because they did not replace the necessary undertones to balance their hair color at their desired level. Anyway, I could go on about this, but I feel like we're at a good stopping point for now, and there's still so much else I can say. There's different types of hair color: permanent, demi-permanent, semi-permanent, temporary. And there's so many different tones. Anyway, I have so much more that I could say. Maybe I could do like a video on going blonde, or adding different types of tones or whatnot. There's so many different facets of hair color, and I think that's what fascinates me about it, is there's just so many things to consider, and I have a pretty good grip of understanding on hair color, but I love to learn new things, and it fascinates me, honestly. So I'm going to end this video here, because once again I think we're at a good stopping point. And I feel like I've given you guys a lot of information. So if there's any questions or anything anyone would perhaps want me to clarify or elaborate on, feel free to leave those questions and comments in the comments section below, and then perhaps I can do a part 2 of this video, and maybe I can clarify if there are any misunderstandings, or further elaborate, or talk about other aspects of hair color. I want to say thank you to everyone for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you enjoyed this video, then it would really mean a lot if you would subscribe and check out my other videos. Thank you so much, everyone, and I will